Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I am going to attempt to do some Christmassy vlogs over December just because Vlogmas is my absolute favourite time to watch YouTube and it's my favourite kind of videos to make. When I first started my YouTube channel I did Vlogmas for the first 2 years and I loved it. So do you know what? I thought I'm going to attempt to do it this year. I'm not going to do it every day. I might just do as and when I can, but I thought I'd just intro this video here before we jump back to yesterday because I filmed some of yesterday and yeah, I really hope you enjoy this. I hope I can get some more videos out, health permitting, fingers crossed, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought very spontaneously, do you know what, I'm gonna try and attempt to do some Christmassy vlogs on YouTube. I am very aware that I'm actually very behind on YouTube stuff anyway. I've actually got a I've got 2 more videos left from a Florida series to finish, which I haven't edited yet, but I just thought I'd do a little catch-up video to kind of get this rolling, and yeah, kind of go from here. So let's see what happens. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be super consistent, but I'm gonna try. Also I'm dressed like this because I actually went to the gym today, earlier on today, for the first time in, I don't know how long it's actually been, because I actually cancelled my membership and I was gonna say reignited it. I actually redid it again on, what day was it? Yesterday, Saturday morning? Yeah, so yesterday morning, I got an email about it and I thought, do you know what? I do actually need to go back to the gym and they had an offer on, so I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna go and do it. And I had a really good time actually, so yeah, I was actually quite proud of myself for getting up and actually going. But my hair is very greasy. I'm gonna go and have a bath and hair wash in a minute. But because I was going to the gym, I didn't wash it yesterday. But anyway, so just to fill you in on where I've been, because I've been off YouTube for a very long time. I watch YouTube every single day. I'm such a big YouTube fan, but I have had quite a lot going on in the last couple of months. I have relaunched my cookie business, which is called the Kentish Cookie Company. That relaunched in October, so most of the months leading up to it we're preparing for a relaunch, which was really exciting. We've got relatives that have, not relative, we've got family that have a pub and they actually asked me to stock the pub with cookies. So my cookies were actually on the dessert menu and they're actually behind the bar as well, which is really exciting. So I've had all that going on, kind of getting myself ready to be selling like baked goods again from home, which has been super exciting. However, that's kind of taken the front seat, and then last month, well, I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but last month in November I had a horrendous November, and basically I got diagnosed with something which is called SSHL. And the reason I thought, do you know what, I'm going to mention it on the video is because I've literally searched this term on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everything. It is the whole of November, my life has been completely taken over by this issue that I've been having. So basically it started off early November. I had a week where I was really poorly, and then I went to hospital and I got checked over and they were like, no, you're like severely dehydrated and you're fine. I had loads of like bits and pieces going on. And then the following week I started getting dizzy spells. And I'm not someone who's ever had dizzy spells before, but then I also lost my hearing, so my ears had popped and I couldn't like hear properly out of my ears. So I kept having these dizzy spells and I was having this hearing loss, and then these dizzy spells were like making me not feel sick, actually be sick. They were horrible and I'd had a couple of them. So this was going on. I don't know where we're up to. The whole of November has been a little bit of a blur, to be honest. And then I went to my GP on the Monday. He checked me over and was like, I think you might have vertigo. Which would explain why obviously I was struggling with my my vision. Well, I say my vision, but my vision and my steadiness. I was losing my balance, loads of stuff like this. This is a very long story compacted into a very short story, but that was going on. So then he called me back on the Monday evening and said, you need to go to an ear, nose and throat specialist or department the next day, booked me an appointment at the hospital the next day. So I went in and I thought I was just going in for a hearing test and like for my ears to be checked. So by this point, the Monday, my hearing had come back in my left ear but not in my right ear. So they checked me over and then I was there. My appointment was 11, I got there at like 10. I got there really, really early. And then I was there till I think like 1:30, 2, so I was in there for hours. And they did a hearing test and then they sent me back to the waiting room again. And then I got seen by another doctor. And then they said, oh, yeah, you need to see a specialist. There's something wrong with your ear. So then I went back to the waiting room again. And then the third time I was seen by a specialist that specialises in SSHL. And basically, I was told that I could lose my hearing completely in my right ear, which obviously was contributing to me having these dizzy spells and all of the other side effects that come with that. It was actually really, really quite surprising. I'd had like 2 weeks where I hadn't been well, but I've had like obviously pressure in my ears when I'm flying and stuff, and I've had pressure in my ears when I'd had a cold, but I'd never had anything like this before. I just had a very, very quick battery change. So I'd never had anything like this before. So basically it was quite a shock, to be fair, because the specialist that saw me was basically saying that I could lose my hearing altogether in my right ear permanently, or it might come back, they don't know. This diagnosis is like relatively new, so it's not like a super there's not that much research on it yet. So they gave me 2 options. My first option was to go on a course of steroids for 2 weeks to reduce the inflammation in my ear, to hopefully get my hearing back, because basically all through this time as well, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I'd had tinnitus in this ear. Again, I've never had this before, which is so annoying for anyone who's ever had tinnitus. It is like, I don't know how to explain it, it is so overstimulating all of the time. And I'd find that even if I'm having like a conversation with Ross, or I'm watching telly, or if I was out in public, which I hadn't been out very much, but if I'd been out in public, I went to Home Bargains with my mum, and honestly, there was like children in there, and I was like, I can't hear properly, like this is like, it was horrible. It was very overstimulating, and like if people are talking, it feels really loud, like you're just very, very sensitive to noise. So anyway, so all this was going on. So she gave me that option. That was the first option. The second option, this is not a very Christmassy start to this video whatsoever, but the second option was to have injections into my eardrum, which could or couldn't work. There is no guarantee. If it worked, it would put the steroid directly to the area that needed it, and work quicker. The cons of that could be that my eardrum could get infected, I could lose my hearing permanently, and the hole may never seal, so it could cause me problems forever, basically. And it was really, really funny. During this appointment, the doctor that saw me, she was like putting her arms around me, because obviously during this time I've like had all these dizzy spells and stuff. So she put her arms around me like this to see if I was like wobbly and stuff like that. I thought she was giving me a cuddle, because I was at this point I was just absolutely crying my eyes out. I'd been unwell for like 2 weeks, but I wasn't prepared to be told that I could lose my hearing. I'm 31, so I'm not opposed to having a hearing aid, but I just like there and then it just come very much out of the blue. It was kind of like I'd been told this information the day before. I felt like I was getting better and my left ear was fine, so I was just like, oh, my right ear's gonna pop eventually, it'll be fine. So so then I went on a 2-week course of steroids, and thankfully a week in, thankfully now, I had the most horrendous episode yet. It took me 3 hours to come out of this episode of dizziness. I would say my dizziness isn't like a room spinning, and my dizziness is like a room rocking side to side, and even when you close your eyes you still feel the sensation, so it's like a horrible, horrible experience. And I appreciate this is not life or death, this isn't like end of the world stuff, but it was horrible for me to personally to experience. And I would say, so that happened on the Monday. by the Thursday, Friday, I still couldn't read properly. So when you go through these experiences or these episodes, because it overexerts your brain so much to deal with what's been processed, it's very normal to not be able to read. So I tried to work on the Thursday, I think it was, and when I was looking at the screen, I'd have to read an email like 5 times to fully understand what it said. I honestly could not process putting words together. And also during this time that this was going on, I actually had my biggest corporate order for cookies, and I was so excited for this order. We'd done branding, we'd done stickers, we were having a hot cookie bar at this event, and I had to cancel it because I actually couldn't stand up. So this event was on the Tuesday, and on the Monday, which was when I was going to bake the cookies in the evening, I couldn't stand up still after my episode. So it's kind of, this whole thing has kind of put everything cookie related like to the side for the time being, because obviously for this particular corporate order I had made 200 cookies. They're in my freezer, and I usually bake them like a day or a couple of days after, but they last for 3 months in the freezer anyway. And I couldn't do this order, which was devastating. I was really gutted about it. But even on the Tuesday I still wasn't well, and as I said, by the Thursday and Friday I couldn't read still. Over the weekend I could read, but yeah, it's been a really weird time. Even now, for anyone who's ever experienced or going through SSHL, I can only describe it as like my tinnitus comes and goes. So like right now, my left ear is absolutely fine, but my right ear, it sounds like there's like a tumble dryer going on in my ear. I don't know if I'm getting better at dealing with it and like just accepting that this might be how things are, or if I trigger it. But the really weird thing with this, there's no known cause for SSHL, which is sudden, there's like a word, it's like sensoretic or something like that, sensoretic hearing loss, but it's called SSHL. So it's sudden hearing loss without reason. But hearing, and again, I've kind of known this anyway, because Ross's mum used to work in audiology, so like we'd heard of like hearing stuff before, but your hearing really affects your balance. So obviously I couldn't drive, I couldn't even walk properly. Ross was helping me walk around for the first couple of days after my really bad episode. I honestly, it was like living a weird reality. I couldn't walk on my own, couldn't get up the stairs without Ross coming to help me. Like it's really like you completely lose your independence with it. But anyway, some positive news. After that really horrendous episode, my ear suddenly didn't have tinnitus anymore. So it was such a weird thing. So actually, out of the terrible thing that happened, I got my hearing back in my right ear. So anyway, that took 2 weeks of steroids. I went back to see the specialist on Tuesday, and Ross come with me. It's miles away, and it's such a pain to park in this hospital. It's just not like a nice experience. It's like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, wasn't my favourite thing. But went to this specialist, and the specialist is really lovely. Again, you're in there for hours because you're doing your hearing test, and then you have to wait around and have to wait to be seen again. And I did my hearing test, and the left side, I felt like I could hear every single beep, and apparently my left ear hearing is brilliant. Which I think also has made the situation worse, because when one is so good and one is so terrible, you're even more off balance. Whereas if one's bad and one's like slightly bad, your balance I think is a bit better. But yeah, so I had my hearing test, my right ear come back. I'd made a massive improvement, which is great. I'm so happy about that, which I could tell anyway, but she was like, you're gonna be so happy, your hearing's made such a good improvement. They also asked me to be, when I went there the first time, they asked me to be involved in a clinical trial because of my age, and because this is not, it's rare, but it's not like unheard of in my age group. But because I didn't have the injection course, I didn't start the clinical trial, but thankfully the steroids have obviously worked. But even today, obviously I've been to the gym, which was quite loud. I don't know what else. I mean, I've been driving. I can drive again now. I'm okay to drive. I haven't had an episode for like maybe 2.5 weeks now. So yeah, so I'm allowed to drive now. I'm safe to drive. And I went out a couple of days ago for the first time, and I was really nervous to drive again, but I feel with it now, whereas when I was on my steroids made me feel drunk. I was on so many steroids, so it was a really very like overwhelming experience. Anyway, this is a very long way of saying I basically, for the whole month of November, I've just hit myself in the eye, the whole month of November has been very bizarre. I'm very thankful to be on the mend again. I do have an MRI scan booked for Thursday. I had a blood test done on when I was at the hospital as well. They wanted me to do a blood test, and I've got an MRI scan just to check there's nothing else in my head that's causing this or causing the dizziness. They obviously want to check for different things, so it's only a head MRI scan to check everything, and then providing that all comes back okay, the steroids have done their job, and I'll be discharged. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. That's where I've been. The whole month of November was such a write-off because I was actually going to launch my business locally, so my cookie boxes were going to be available for people to buy online, but because I didn't know what was going on, I didn't want to commit to anything and let anyone down like I'd let down that corporate order. So yeah, so things have been really weird, but I'm hoping now we're on the mend, so fingers crossed. But if anyone's going through, I'm going to put the tag as SSHL, because if you're looking for a positive story, when I was looking at SSHL stories, everyone basically said they lost their hearing and had to have a hearing aid. So I feel like I've actually been very lucky, so I think I'm a positive story. Also with SSHL, because there's no proven reason why you get it, there's nothing you can do to prevent it. I also asked the doctor, I made a list of things on my phone to ask the doctor about it, like, can I fly? Will I need to take medication before I fly because of the pressure to my ears? Can I use headphones again? Obviously, am I safe to drive? What were the other things I asked her? Will I get this back again? Am I always going to have problems with my ears? And basically she said, we don't know. We're still doing research into SSHL. So we don't know. If you have problems, you should be safe to fly, because she said my hearing level of my right ear has improved so much, which is in a normal band now. Before it was in like minus red, like very far down. It's now like normal level. It's not as good as my left, but it's still like semi-normal. So yeah, so that's what's been going on. It's been a funny old time, but I feel so much better. And as I said, it's not like a life or death situation. I think it's just because it affects your balance and because it affects your the dizziness spells, it's just completely, like, even being able to read, like how much you take for granted being able to read is crazy. Anyway, that is my very long story about what's going on with my ears. Moving over to something a little bit more festive now. So I'm filming this on Sunday the 30th of November, and I've got some bits and pieces to do today. I've actually, as I said, I went to the gym today and I dropped off, what did I drop off? I dropped off some bits to the charity shop that needed to go there. I need to write my Christmas cards. I got this really cute card for Ross from Etsy, and he absolutely loves the Muppets Christmas Carol. It's his favourite Christmas film. It's probably one of his actual favourite films anyway. But this one says, "'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous." La, la, la. So I've got that little card for Ross. I think the lady actually like illustrates them and then she prints them. So I got that one for him to write. I also got one for my nan to write as well. My AA membership is also finished, and they've doubled the price since last year. So I usually pay like £100 a year for my AA membership, and they've done it to £220. So I need to call them and see if I can get that down. Right, my bath has been run. I've just lit myself a little candle. This is a really old one we've had actually for like many years. It's a little Merry Christmas one. And I think it's from Home Sense. Yeah, it's DW Home. Ran my bath with lots and lots of bubbles. I've got this shampoo. I've got this hair treatment, which I really love. So I got that. And then I got this from Home Bargains as well. I think it's a dupe of like a perfume, but I've not smelled the perfume, but this smells really nice. And then I've got some exfoliating gloves over here. I've got my Pepsi Max. I'm also going to be using some of this because I'm getting a little bit of patchy tan around my wrist. So I'm going to use some of that. And then also I'm going to watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So this is my little setup. I'm very, very excited to jump in. Right, it is a little bit later on now. I have had a lovely bath. I washed my hair, I fake tanned, I'm all ready for the week. And I thought I'd quickly show you the advent calendars and the setup that we have this year. So I've actually put the advent calendars in our bedroom. So they're on this little table unit that we have over here, also joined by this little baby here. This is what me and Ross call the magic carpet, and basically whichever cat gets to this first is like the king cat for the day. Like, it's whoever gets this is like royalty. So if one of them's on it, the other one will like try and, well, if Maple's on it, the other one will try and sleep like around it, or if Tiki's on it, which is 9 times out of 10, Maple will like put her paw on it, or part of her body on it. So we have to position it. We've now started positioning it in a way that kind of stretches across the bed. So if by any chance they wanted to sleep together, which they don't usually, they would both fit. But yeah, Maple's been up here for hours and hours and hours, and she's very happy. But I thought I'd quickly show you, let me shut this a second. I thought I'd quickly show you the advent calendar setup. So there's quite a few this year. We have gone slightly different. We've gone for chocolatey ones mainly. So I've got a Kinder one. I think Ross maybe got this for me from Asda, and it looks so good. I'm a big Kinder fan anyway. But it's got a Kinder egg, 2 Father Christmases, loads of these little Kinder egg things, which I really like. These are amazing as well. Kinder bars, which I put in all my cookies, so have them usually in the house quite a lot. So that's my one. And then Ross's one I got from John Lewis. I was looking for loads of different advent calendars for him. And I was like, right, what chocolate does he really like? And he really likes Milka, and I hadn't seen anything in any shops, but when I googled it, there was one, and they sold it. Admittedly, this was £15 from John Lewis, but he was really chuffed with it, and it literally turned up the next day as well. So yeah, I think it's just actual Milka chocolate. But yeah, that's really cool. Then we've made this room like the Robin themed room, because usually we have our festive bedding on. It's actually in the wash at the moment, but it's got loads of robins on it. So I brought all of our robins upstairs. So we've got this little guy, which we've had for years, and he's lost his little towel. We've got these 3, which I think we got last year, which are really cute. I don't know where that's from. It does actually light up, but it hasn't got any batteries in it that work. I don't know what actually lights up. I don't know if we've ever lit this up before. And this little snow globe as well, because robins appear when angels are near. And then we got this from this little shop in Bluewater last year. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. Me and Ross got married under a gazebo like this, or pagoda, or whatever they call them. And again, this lights up as well. I need to go and put batteries in all this. But it's like Father Christmas and Mrs. Christmas exchanging gifts under here. And I think it was only like a £5, but I thought it was super cute. So yeah, I'll put that up here as well. Then also, I got these bells from Home Bargains. They're a £5. I literally have nowhere for them to go. I did not think this through. I thought I'd like have loads of places for them to be, and I don't. So this is where they've ended up. And then down here in the advent calendars that Ross's mum got. So she got me this one because she knows I love Highland cows. I think this is like little tea lights, which is really, really cute. It's got a little robin on there as well. And then Ross got this one from his mum. He got the Malteser truffle one, and then the other one that I got him as like a special one, hopefully it wasn't filming my feet then, is the Pokemon holiday calendar. I pre-ordered this, I want to say maybe September, October time. It was from Magic Madhouse. I paid 40 quid for it, but they sell them now for £55, but I definitely paid £40. I didn't unwrap that. I unwrapped these, they were all ready for tomorrow, but I didn't unwrap this because Pokemon fans like to unwrap things, so I didn't want to take that away from Ross. Then over here is this bunting that we got from Centre Parks many years ago. It was like in the sale after Christmas, but I thought it was really, really cute. And again, I don't really have anywhere for it to go, so I've just blue tacked it on here. And then also, whilst we're under here, oh my god, this is like the coolest thing ever. Me and Ross spontaneously went to London a couple of weeks ago, and we went into Selfridges just to see all the Christmas stuff. And basically, we've wanted, hopefully this will focus, it's not very good lighting over here. We've wanted this Disneyland hotel clock since they launched, and we was actually it sounds really silly, we was actually pricing up a trip to go back to Disneyland Paris because we really wanted this clock, and people were selling them online for like triple the price, and we were like, no, we'll just wait until we go one day. We haven't been to Disneyland Paris we haven't been this year anyway, so we hadn't got it. Anyway, we was talking about this advent calendar, we was talking about this clock on the way up to London, and Ross was saying basically as soon as they come in every day they sell out, so like if you're not there in the morning you don't get them. And then we was walking around and I needed to go to the toilet, so it was like walking around the Disney section, round the corner, and there was two literally just on their own, and we were like, oh my god. So it was £150, but I think it's worth it. I think it's absolutely beautiful, to be honest. We were saying this is like a heirloom that you would pass down to family. It's just absolutely beautiful, and because our bedroom is like pink, we just thought it would look really lovely in here. And actually it's going to go on this table when we when all Christmas is down in January. That will be a spot in our bedroom, so I think that's really lovely, and it reminds us of Disneyland Paris. And it's a very sentimental place for us because I grew up going with my family and Ross did with his, and then that was actually our first fringe everywhere, that was actually our first holiday together. So we always we love Disneyland Paris anyway, but yeah, we thought it was really cute, so we actually managed to get it. But what we actually wanted to do, which we haven't even done yet, we was going to unbox it just to make sure that it was all okay. But it's all sealed, but I'm not going to, I'll wait for us to unbox it. I don't want to unbox it without him. But yeah, anyway, I'll show you the rest of the bedroom. I haven't got, as I said, I haven't got the Christmas bedding on at the moment because I wash all our sheets on a Saturday. So they went into the wash and they're currently, I think they're actually in the tumble dryer. But this is our Christmas tree in our bedroom, which is super festive. We've actually gone for a bit of a different theme this year. Last year, I don't know if I posted anything online, but we had these like twinkle lights that we'd seen that you can basically program on your phone. We just didn't really love them. They were, I don't know, they weren't quite right for us. And not for this tree anyway. This tree, I can't remember where it's from. I think it's like a 6 foot, maybe it's like a 5.5, 6 foot tree. And we were just going to leave it plain with lights on it. We've got loads of lights that we've had for years, so we're just going to leave it plain. And then we was in the White Company and we saw these baubles and we thought they were really lovely, but they were quite expensive, so we didn't get them. And then when we was home, we was kind of thinking, oh, what should we do with this tree, because this room's obviously pink. I don't know, I feel like we didn't want to go super traditional, we wanted to go like a little bit different, so, well, different for us. So anyway, Ross suggested that we get a couple of these white baubles. They were all in there. We got a 20% off deal, I think, when we got our Christmas tree downstairs. So we got these. Ross grabbed these from Sainsbury's, these little stars, which come in like a 6-pack with like enamel, which are really cute. And then we got 4 of these because they were quite expensive. I think there's another one, yeah, there's another one around here as well. And we thought maybe over the years we'll just make this tree like a white and like Mercury tree. Might see what goes into the sale in January. But funnily enough, I was actually sorting out my bag last night and I was going through all the gift cards in my purse, and I was like, I usually am really good with all my gift cards. I spend all of my gift cards with no problem whatsoever, and I was going through it. There was a White Company one. I thought I would know if I've got money on that, like I would have spent it already, but I didn't. I had £20 on it, so I was well happy. So I went on to the White Company website last night, and I do everything through Shops Away, so we get air miles for it as well. And I got 4 additional white baubles of those, and I just had to pay £3 for delivery. So I was really happy with that. So I said to Ross last night, I think that's enough then for that tree. Don't think we need any more. But yeah, super exciting to get that done. And then over here, we've got, admittedly, I've been laying all over the bed, but we've got an old garland and some Primark ribbons. I think these were like 4 for £3, I think they were, just to make it look a little bit festive. It could probably do with a little bit more, but that's all I'm going to do this year. And then I kind of constructed these little bells are from Primark as well, and I just attached them using a bit of tartan ribbon that we've got around the house. So they're super festive. It looks very like Christmas is thrown up in here. And then also over here, we've got a little Noel sign and a little gold star hanging from the fridge. But then over here, I've added this lovely ribbon. This one's actually a different colour. Not ribbon, bow. This is like a burgundy colour, so I've added this to this little bouquet of roses. But yeah, looks very, very festive. I'm very happy with it this year. So yeah, I'm going to go downstairs. Ross is actually making us dinner tonight. He is doing steak, roast potatoes, cabbage and green beans, which I'm so excited for because I'm absolutely starving. But yeah, so I'm very excited. Also, we might pop out this evening. The time is now 2 minutes to 6, so I might pop out after Ross has finished dinner, but because the roast potatoes take a while, I'm not too sure what time that will be. Right, to finish off our evening, we had a lovely steak dinner made by Ross, and now we're actually going to go and play the Christmas light game.
You showing them the clickers?
No, I haven't. This is a new concept. I was explaining this to my mum earlier.
It's alright. So we play this game every year, and it's kind of got out of hand. But what we do is we go walking up and down roads, and then every time we see lit up Christmas decorations, be it a Christmas tree or anything,
like a garland or lights,
icicles, anything like that, that we call it as a point. And we used to do it driving, but it's also quite dangerous for the driver. So we do it walking, and we used to kind of lose tally of who had what. So now we've got clickers. So every time we've got one.
What you get when you go into
a nightclub.
A nightclub, yeah.
So yeah.
So this is my one. This is the white one, and the black one's Ross's.
And the good thing is you can always hear when someone's cheating, because
you can.
It has a good old
click. And we also practiced them out yesterday, didn't we, Ross? We played a trivia on YouTube, like a movie trivia. And we was like clicking away, but once you've clicked you can't unclick, and you have to start from the beginning. So if you then click too soon, you have to wait
to
get your next point.
Almost strategically too soon.
It's a lot of fun. Right, so jumping back to today, Alexa, turn on Christmas. There we go. Right, today, by this point I would have updated you on everything that happened over November. November was not a great month for me at all. I've really struggled with my health in November, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we're on a better path now, and things are going to get better, and we're going to have a really good December. That's what I'm manifesting. But weirdly, this morning I felt really weird. I didn't quite feel myself, and I was like, oh, am I having another episode? But I went and like laid in my bed for like half hour, and I think I just calmed myself down again, and I feel fine. I don't know if it's because in the mornings I feel worse in the morning than I do the rest of the day. It's very bizarre. But anyway, I feel good now. I don't feel like hazy or anything. I feel good. And I'm gonna make a really weird lunch because I'm on my lunch break. I'm working from home today. And I started really early this morning, so I'll get to finish at a good time. And then what I'm going to do, fingers crossed, this all goes to plan, I'm going to edit this last bit and put it onto the video, then maybe get it up this evening. That would actually be a miracle, an actual Christmas miracle if I managed to do that. Right, anyway, this is what I'm going to make for lunch. I'll pop the camera down. I also wearing this really, really nice set from Primark that I got, when was it? Just a couple of weeks ago. I think the whole set worked out, I think the top and bottoms were maybe £16 each, I think. But what I was thinking, it's a little bit of a risky colour, like for me to wear. I love white, but it is a bit risky. But I thought, do you know what? If I get anything down it, which I hope I'm not manifesting this by making cherry tomatoes. Sorry, just have to wash my cherry tomatoes. If I get anything down this, I think I might actually dye it red. I think I might actually put it in the washing machine and make it like a red co-ord, because I think that would be really nice. And red's actually my colour palette, and I don't really wear a lot of red. I'm trying to get more red stuff, but it's not that easy to find. But anyway, what am I doing? Let me get rid of this for a second. Anyway, right, so I'm making my lunch. I've got a whole dish of cherry tomatoes. I'm also going to cut up some feta to put in here as well. This lunch is random, but it's actually really tasty. It's a little bit of an odd one, and honestly it doesn't look great when you prepare it, so just bear that in mind. But I've got some chunks of feta that I'm going to pop in here, and then I'm going to put the tuna in last. I'm going to put this in the air fryer for like 10 minutes, heat that up. Right, once I've kind of mushed up the tomatoes a little bit, It looks a little bit like this. So it kind of resembles a bake without any, as I said, without any pasta. But it's really, really nice. So what I've actually done is I've opened my tuna. I'm going to mix it with my tuna in this bowl. And I've got this seasoning, which I got from Costco. When did I get this from Costco? Maybe like 2 months ago. And it is the Everything Bagel seasoning. This was £6. If you get it on Amazon, it's £6 for a sachet. And this one is really, really nice. So I got this. And then I've also got myself a little pack of Kinder cards, which are our favourite. Again, I picked these up. We got these in Costco the other day. And we got a massive box, so it will last us forever. And then I went to Lidl yesterday and I thought to switch it up, I'm actually going to get some pears. And I used to have these pears all the time when I was a kid because they used to grow in my nan and granddad's garden. So I think they're called conference pears. So I've chopped it all up because I don't really like biting apples and stuff. So I thought I'll chop it up like I do with an apple, and I've got an apple in here as well. And I thought I can just sit and snack on this for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm trying to have more fruit and veg in my diet. So that's why when I'm eating things like this, it's, I don't know, that's another portion of fruit and vegetables as well. So yeah, this is my lunch. I was just editing this video back and I thought, you know what, you can so see how out of practice I am from vlogging. It was the most unflattering angles in every single clip. So I'm very sorry about that. I'm going to bear that in mind in future when I vlog and edit. But as I said, this wasn't the most festive video. I literally spent 15 minutes talking about my ears, so I do apologise. It may not have been super festive to start Vlogmas off, but thank you so much for watching it anyway. And yeah, hopefully I will see you very, very soon for the next video. Bye!